As I mentioned yesterday, the pathway to discovering yourself, very simple. So long as you have a mind and you feel you have free will. Doesn't matter real or unreal, so long as you are experiencing free will, and so long you have a mind to think about it. Think. Do I really want to know who I am? Yes, I want to know who I am. It's a thought. Where will I find it? I'll find myself where I am thinking myself is. It's not outside of my body anyway. It's inside myself. Narrow it down. I am thinking from my head, not from anywhere else. All right? Then you withdraw yourself into your head, examine what's happening inside my head. Besides looking at the head from outside, where I see the grey matter and the brain and all that and some little organs, can I see it from inside? How will it look like if I saw it from inside? Only let me go back into the center of the head and see, can I see something working inside the head? Am I, when I close my eyes, am I in the center? No. You can't close your eyes and be in the center of the head. You are at the eyes. You're trying to look out. Now you're not looking out. Closing eyes does not take you to the center at all. Closing eyes only means your attention is outside. You can't see outside because you close your eyes. It is not going inside your head at all. But if you are able to close your eyes and say, I am now in front of the eyes, I can feel it. What would happen if I step back further? When you try to do that, to step back further, you find suddenly you are a living entity in your head. Otherwise, how are you moving back? How can you move backwards in a body that is still, eyes that are closed? And you are able to move backwards and forwards. Who is that? Who do you feel that is? Your own self. You never feel somebody else is moving, you are moving. Okay, when you can move inside and backwards and forwards, sideways, if you can move inside the physical head in any direction you like, and you want to go to the center and see, does something different happen? If you try to be in the center, if you try this simple experiment, you'll find amazing things happen just by going to the center. Amazing things are, you see lights, colors, things. In the Bible it says, if thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be filled with light. What's the meaning of single eye? If thine eye be single, it doesn't mean this eye, obviously. It means if you can find the eye, the single eye, from which you operate as living beings and through which you see through eyes, two eyes. If you can put your attention, which is exactly in the center of the head, if you put your attention there, you can see a light greater than any light you have seen outside. Sometimes people get shocked when they do that. Therefore, it is simply a matter of going to the center from where we are operating as wakeful human beings now. If we are a unit, just a point of life, a point of consciousness sitting in a body and make the whole body alive from that point because of our power of life, it's exactly that point in the center of the head. Therefore, the most important thing to discover yourself, the very fundamental thing, is to go to that point before you do anything else. We don't do it. Even those who are seeking the truth and meditating for years and years are not doing the most fundamental thing, to go to the center, to start with. And you can't find anything if you're not at that place. Because the moment you move away from it, you are moving away from where you are, not you moving away from the real core. The core does not move. When you say, I am ahead, what makes you say, I am ahead? You are saying it from the same center. But you have put your attention somewhere else. The attention has moved away, and therefore you feel you are moved away. You are not operating the attention from forward place, from the same core. Withdrawal of attention to your own self from the very point from where it's originating in the human body in wakeful physical state is the most important gateway to opening any other experience. If you have experiences that take place without doing that, they can be generated by suggestion, they can be generated by hypnosis, they can be generated by putting attention on eye center, which is the center of great energy. There are 6 centers of energy in our body. The energetic circuitry that is formed by these 6 centers is not only sustaining the body, it's also sustaining our activities, it's sustaining our ability to use energy for anything. Walking, talking, doing anything, creating, everything we are doing is from these centers of energy. And they start from the bottom, from the rectum, the genitals, the navel, the heart, and the throat, eyes. The 6th center is behind the eyes. Therefore, when we talk of the 6 centers of energy, they include the center in the eyes. That is very confusing. The 6 centers of energy are in the eyes. 6 centers of awareness also start from the eyes and go backwards in the head and not go downward in the physical body. That is why this confusion. People go into a meditation of 6 chakras, 6 centers, and they go from center to center using different kind of mantras for each center, generating an energy of its own at each center, and move upwards one by one and find great solace in the heart center. The other centers are different kind of energies. The genetic center, genitals, where the genitals are, that is a pleasure, and sometimes called, that is center of pleasure. The actual words are used like that. Therefore, it's designed to pull your attention there and hold it there, which is very important in our human life. But the heart center, which is the center of emotions, and emotions play such a big role in our life. Therefore, the heart center, some people start believing we are really coming from the heart center in our wakeful state. Of course, we are not. The heart center, heart palpitates with emotion. Heart becomes active with emotions. When you have knowledge, you are not emotional, you are cool. When you are not cool, you are at the heart center. When you are cool, you are in the head. Therefore, awareness is center of coolness behind the eyes, and the center that takes us up to our knowing we are there is in the 6th center of energy. The 6th center of energy in the eyes tells us we exist. Great. That's the discovery we make through the meditational experiences through the 6 centers. I spend a lot of time in this trying to understand what are we getting from there. We are getting a knowledge that I exist. Why? Because I went through all the energy centers and discovered my energetic self, that I exist in the eyes. Well, that's the 6th center. I didn't know that the eyes open both ways, not physical eyes. Another pair of eyes are opening, and those are the eyes which we see with imagination. When we imagine things, we are still seeing things, but not employing the physical eyes at all. And where are those eyes coming from? They are also behind these eyes. When you imagine something, are you imagining from your hands? No. Where are you imagining from? From the same eyes, but not these eyes. So that is why the location of the eyes that imagine is the same as the eyes that see outside. Very confusing. So we begin to rely even on the eyes that are looking outside for looking inside. And I was very surprised to see some people thinking that to see inside you have to roll these eyes backwards. That's terrible. I see this state looking up, so the rolling is easy. And looking up with the eyes rolled, they can't roll. They're not meant for that. They're not built like that. And they think we have to roll physical eyes back to see inside. These eyes have nothing to do with things inside. But the eyes of imagination are automatically operating inside. And when we locate ourselves right in the center, and how do we locate ourselves? I'll give you a simple, very simple trick to do it. Don't try to find the center at all. When you try to find the center, you move away from the center. Because that's our nature. Our nature is to find something, it will always be away from us, no matter what. You want to find something, we are the finder, and the object is to find what is to be found. The finder does not ever become the object of finding. So when we say, let me find, you're already wrong. Never try to find the third eye center. Realize you are at the third eye center. How do you realize you are at the third eye center? Imagine you are there. That's simple. When I got initiated from this master, I went back to him after a few months and I said, I have a very big problem of finding my third eye center. He said, why? He said, it should be easy. Can't you imagine yourself? I can imagine myself. He said, not imagine yourself separate from yourself. No, imagine yourself. I said, how do I imagine myself? If I want to say I'm imagining myself there, I'm still here also. It's just an imagination there. He said, oh, can't you put yourself that you moved there and a body left behind? I said, with deep imagination, I can do that. He said, all right. Raise your hand and put up your index finger up. So which I did. He said, imagine you have lifted yourself above the finger. With little effort, I said, I am no longer, I'm just rising and sitting on the finger. He said, are you still up there? Yes. Bring it down slowly. Are you still up there? I'm still up there. Bring it up here. Are you still up there? Still up there. Jump in. And I jumped in. I was at third eye center. The secret is to use imagination to jump in where you are already. Supposing I were to make an imagination, I am standing here, and I would jump back to where I am. I'll jump, I'll be exactly where I was to start with. The same thing happens inside, in imagination. So when we imagine we are where we are, not imagine some other place, no third eye center. Imagine where you are at third eye center. But you are scattered. You don't imagine yourself to be a single point. You don't imagine yourself to be small. You imagine you are big. If I imagine this body of mine is there, it's too small a place to fit the body. So I try to do two things. Either I try to make a small picture of myself to place there so it fits in the head, and that is not me, because I'm making a picture. Go wrong straight away. When I try to make a picture of myself to sit behind the eyes, I go wrong in the beginning. Now I try to fit myself, the whole of myself as I am, in the space. Second option, much better, I expand the space. By imagination you can do that. I imagine first, it's a huge place where I'm in the bottom. Then I forget my boundaries. I forget there's a boundary of my head. I'm imagining a big garden. I imagine I'm in a big garden and the flowers all around me. I'm the center. So the whole body fits in there. Big difference in the two. Do not contract yourself to fit in the head. You will always remain in physical consciousness. But if you imagine the space expanding here and you fitting in as you are, then you are at the third eye center. Such is important point for the beginning of good effective meditation. And we go wrong right on that. And people do not realize it even after years and years of meditation that the very first step was not correct. So therefore I am sharing this with you, that if you are meditating correctly, effectively to find your inner self, then first imagine you have moved from where you are physically. Through imagination, your imaginative self, just like the physical self, has moved into a big space here. That is why I suggest some other additional points to imagine. And one good one is that this body of yours is a house you live in. It has 6 floors. When you begin to look at your body, it's my house, I'm living in 6 floors, the concept of a bigger house outside automatically comes in. It's a house. You can't think houses were small rooms. You can't think like that. Then you say it's a house in which I live and there are several floors of the house, you are expanding your space already by that simple imagination. When you imagine you are in a house and there are many floors, I can see my elevator at the back, nice elevator, along the spine. By the way, the energetic centers also operate like this. There's a spinal elevator, and you can go down on the spinal elevator as quickly as you like to any center. And there are stops at every center. And you can move very slowly through staircase that goes slowly from one center to the other in front. So you can feel in energetic experiences that there's a front of the house with staircase, and there's an elevator at the back on the spine. Now, if you can imagine this structure of your house, then you know you are in a house, you're the 6th floor, and then you want to lay a carpet there. What size carpet? Oh, it's a huge room. It's not this small. It's quite a room. You'll never get a carpet into this area. And you are laying a carpet in that house and putting drapes on the wall. You already enlarge the space for the whole of you as you know yourself fitting in there. Don't forget the astral self is of the same size, same form as this form. It is not a small little thing. Same form. The different perceptions, sense perceptions in the astral body are located exactly as they are located in the physical body. When you move your hands, the hands are as far away from your head as in this body. So therefore, when you create the space by thinking it's a house, it's an easier way to do it. These are tips I can share briefly with you. Of course, I can share more extensively if we were having regular meditation sessions with you. But the tips are useful because this is an error people make for years and years without moving forward in meditation. And that's what I'm sharing with you. That this is very important that you use imagination, a great asset. Imagination is as important, if not more important, than attention. And attention is needed to concentrate it wherever you want to be. So that is why these 3 things have to be used together. Imagination, putting attention through imagination, and concentrating it there where you believe you are. Then look at the room you are in, the garden you are in, not the body. The body has disappeared already in your imagination. But you will still feel you have the body, naturally, because our attention is so well scattered today, is scattered fully in the body from the third eye center. And that is why we are aware of a body. It's the scattering of attention that creates awareness of a body. And from the body, we are scattering it to other bodies, to space around us, to a world around us, and the whole universe around us is all by scattering of attention from third eye center. In a way, we are creating the universe around us from the third eye center, but we don't know it. We think we are just experiencing it from here. One day you can find out how the origin of the experiences comes from. Even scientists will begin to feel that. In the next 20 years you will see. Because they won't find answers to the questions that they have been raising today and raising it for years and years. Einsteinian theory will be dismissed. All new theories of space and time will be dismissed when you discover that the subjective time and space are holding sway over everything else. Beginning has already been made by this guy who just died last week. And he said, I can realize before the Big Bang there was time, but it's called imaginary time. The very imaginary time we are imagining now. Next step will be, if there's nobody to imagine, will it still be there? That question will automatically come. It hasn't come yet. It hasn't come in physics yet. It will come. It has to. Einstein said he did not give importance to the role of the observer, and he died after that. This man said, imagination is the reality before this reality came into being. Very big statement. But he died before he can explore it further. Somebody will pick it up, and you will see more. But in spiritual practice, you can get answer to these questions ahead of all these people. What I am sharing with you today, I was sharing 60 years ago. It's not something new. I was sharing the same things. In fact, today morning I was saying, should I give any more talks or not? Because I repeat the same things I've been repeating for 60 years.